Hi everyone and welcome to week 6 of the mat Pilates sessions. We're going to start by coming to the middle of our mat and doing our lateral breathing at the same time as doing our shoulder shrugs. So you're inhaling when the shoulders come up and you exhale to drop them back down again. So just releasing any tension in the shoulders, in the neck muscles, and we're just trying to prepare for the next hour. So you're going to bring your head over to the left and use your left arm to assist to give yourself a neck stretch down the right side. And we're just going to do an inhale, and then on the exhalation, you're going to stop and bring yourself over to the opposite side. Using the right arm to assist, slightly pulling the neck further towards the shoulder, and then release. So we're going to look over to the right and then switch and look over to the left, noticing if the neck is tighter on one side than the other, and making sure that the shoulders stay down away from the ears. The hips are facing forward, and I want you to start activating the core as you do this. So then we're going to bring the head round, looking down towards the floor and then back up to the shoulder. So at all times, as we've been doing the last few weeks, I want you to imagine that you're wearing a corset that's being sucked in slightly tighter each time. So bringing our hands just below our rib cage, and let's enhance on the lateral breathing. So we're inhaling through the nose, hands being pushed out, and exhaling through the mouth. Feel free to close your eyes if it allows you to concentrate on your breath. So keep going with this inhalation and exhalation. As we're doing this, I want you to visualize that you are holding a nut in between your legs, and every exhalation you squeeze the nut tighter. So then let's come to the side and we're going to do our hip hinges. So holding the pelvic girdle still, keep the back straight as you come down. The face is going to come so it's parallel to the mat, and then you're coming back to neutral. So your feet are staying imprinted into the mat. The hips are going backwards as you pendulum yourself forwards. So use the hands to see how the hips feel, see where the rotation starts, and try and control the movement as you come down. So this is really going to stretch out the hamstrings and the back of the legs. And let's do one more, going down and then coming back up to standing. Inhale. On the exhalation, you're going to open up the right leg so the knee comes to a 90-degree angle and then it spins around. Your foot touches on the mat and then the knee comes back up. If you struggle with your balance, feel free to put your hand on the wall, or having your hands out to either side, or putting your hands on your pelvic girdle on your hips. So we're trying to open up all those hip joints and start to mobilize the top of the leg. And I want you to try and recognize where there is clicks and popping, if there is anything in the hips. And then let's send the weight over to the opposite leg, and we're going to go again on the other side. So try and really get the knee up so that it's hip height, and then spin it all the way back round. Tap on the floor with your big toe, and then shoot it back up again. And recognize which side you are better balanced on. Maybe you're better on the right side, or maybe the left is stronger. Everyone has these slight imbalances in the body, and this is a lot of work that we're doing is going to help reset and strengthen both sides equally. So then we're going to come down and we're going to go into a lunge. So the left leg is going to come back, and then we swing back round to the right leg. So you're making sure that the knee's coming down. You can tap the mat slightly, but you don't want to rest on the mat. So as we go down, the arms are coming up nice and strong, and the gaze is forward. So you're not looking down towards that knee. And you're making sure that the other knee isn't coming over the foot as you go down. So this is really going to work the glutes, warm up all the quads, the hamstrings as we keep going down. And then let's pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up, inhale. On the exhalation, come back down and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, and come up. Nice. This time we're going to go back into the lunge and we're just going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up, inhale. Let's go back down and you're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up. Release the legs. Do your alignment check. Squeeze the core. And then we're going to go straight into a deep squat as the arms come up and lengthen. So inhale, exhale to scoot yourself down into that chair position and then come up. Every time that you come up, I want you to thrust forward with the hips. So you're really squeezing the glutes when you come up. Then we're going down and we're going to do our paddles with our feet. So in this squat position, one foot comes up and then we're swapping to the next. And this is really good for the lower back muscles. You probably start to feel a bit tight in the mid back as you come up. Back to neutral, we're going to inhale and we're going to turn back round. So we're inhaling, the arms come up and we're doing some nice big circles with the arms going forward. So really want you to visualize that you are wearing this corset and that with every exhalation that corset becomes tighter. So you're squeezing the lower abdominals, you're squeezing your pelvic floor, you're squeezing that nut in between your legs, and you're squeezing the glutes. And then let's swap, and we're going to go in the opposite direction, inhaling as you go up and exhaling as you come back down. So at this point, there's a tendency to flare out the ribs as you go back down, but try and keep the ribs reasonably stable, using the core to draw them down, and the movement is coming from the rotator cuff and from the shoulder muscles. So you're going to notice if one arm feels a bit more tight than the other. Then let's bring the arms up into a V, and we're just going to hold and we're going to squat down in this V shape. And we're coming up and then we'll squat back down in the V. So having your arms up like this while you do this movement is going to really enhance the mid-back muscles, lengthen the trapezius, and give yourself a nice stretch down the side of the body. Come back to neutral, open up one side of the leg, and we're going into a side squat. So we're coming back to the center, the right leg's coming down, you lean into one side and back to center. So we're going a little bit faster than usual because we're starting to enhance the practice as we go deeper into these exercises and build up the muscle. So this time I want you to come back to center, you're going back over to the left, back to center, and then this time when we come down, we're going to pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Let's go on the opposite side, coming down, bending the knee. Let's pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Opening up the legs nice and wide. Inhale, the arms come up. And then we're going to exhale down and over to the right side, reaching towards the toe if you can, looking towards the knee, and then come all the way up, nice and strong in the hands, and back over to the left. So you're giving yourself a full spinal stretch. Your legs should be straight if you can. Swing the arms up, and then come back over to the right side. Each time trying to go a little bit further to see if you can touch that toe. Back up to the center and then back over to the left side. Then let's come up. Your legs are coming back to hip distance apart. Do your alignment check. Your navel's going towards your spine, so you're squeezing the core. Your hands are coming into a prayer position and going on your sternum, and we're doing our thoracic twist. So the hips are straight forward. The shoulders move in synchronicity, and the chin is parallel to the hands. So you're looking forward and you're twisting the thoracic spine. So back to center. Let's go on the opposite side. Remember to exhale as you twist. Inhale at center and then exhale to twist. And keeping that slight little bend in the knees to push your hips forward. And then we're going to bring our palms together. They're coming shoulder high and we're trying to lift the knees to tap the hands. So you can do a slight little crunch as the knee comes up, but try and keep your hands as high as possible and bring the knee really high. So we're starting to work the obliques and we're starting to work the quads and putting some pressure on the hip flexors. So bring the legs up and then coming back down, sending the weight from one foot to the other and trying to see which one has more power. Maybe one leg gets higher than the other one. Maybe one feels a little bit weaker. And then release the arms. Come back to the side. We're going to inhale on the exhalation. The knee's going to come up and we're going to try and straighten the leg. You're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. And we're switching to the opposite leg. So point the leg, lift it as high as possible. This is super difficult movement. Really ends up firing up the quads. And then release back down. Let's go again on the right side. Inhale, exhale to bring the leg up, straighten up the leg, point the toe, try and lift slightly higher, and then drop back down, and let's go on the opposite side. Inhale, exhale to lift. Straighten the leg as much as you can, lift it as high above the mat, keeping your hands on your hips, concentrate, really squeeze the leg, and then bring it back down. Let's lift up the right leg, and this time we're going to roll out the ankle. So we're going clockwise, making some nice big circles, and then you're going to stop and go anti-clockwise. So making sure that we're nice and mobile in the ankles and the wrists as we go throughout the practice. Lifting up the left leg, and we're doing the same thing, going clockwise with the foot. And then we're stopping, and we're going to go anti-clockwise. Making sure at all points that you're still stood up straight and you have that nice spinal structure. Then we're coming to the back of our mat and we're going to start doing our roll down series. So feet are hip distance apart, knees are nice and soft. You inhale in to prepare. On the exhale, we're going to go chin to chest, drop the shoulders, coming all the way down so that the hands can nearly reach the mat. You're bending your knees. Your bum's going to come towards your heels. Then we're shooting the bum back up to the ceiling and you're rolling back up again. So you're doing that slight little duck down when you get to the mat. Let's go again, and I really want you to let the head release and let the shoulders and the arms relax as you come down. So you're feeling the weight of the upper body as you hinge from the hips. Bring your hands towards the mat, bend your knees in, the hands release as the bum comes down, holding your balance and then coming back up with the hips. Straighten the legs if you can, release the head and then peel the body up, one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, we're going to interlock the hands behind you and we're going to open up the chest. So just do a nice long stretch, pushing the hands down, lengthening the shoulders, and then release, and we're coming back down again. So chin to chest, dropping the arms, reach towards the mat, feel the weight of the head, bend the knees, duck the bum down towards the heels, come all the way down with the bum, and then shoot the hips back to the ceiling, and we're going up again. So we're really trying to engage with every part of the spine as you come up. So interlocking the hands again, pushing the arms down so that you're opening the chest up, and then we're dropping back down again. So just notice which parts of the spine feel more mobile. Maybe you are more mobile in the lower back than you are in the top, or maybe the other way around. So coming back down again, the sit bones go towards the heels as the spine curves. Then the hips come back up, straightening the legs, and you peel yourself back up to standing. Last time we're going down, and we're going to go all the way down, and then we're going to come onto the mat. So inhale to prepare, exhale chin to chest, drop the body down, hinge from the hips, reach towards the toes, and this time we're going to walk out the hands so that you come onto all fours and then you come onto your side. So your legs are going to be stacked on top of each other. Your left arm is out in front, your head is resting on your left upper arm, and your right hand is in front of you for stability. We're inhaling to prepare. On the exhalation, you're going to lift up the right leg and you're going to dorsiflex the foot and bring it back down. So activating all the glute muscles, your abductors and your adductors, and all your thighs and your hips. And you should start to notice that over the next few weeks, you are able to do this movement a lot easier. So every single video, each week, we're advancing this movement just slightly. Then we're going to bring the leg up and we're doing our tiny little circles around our coffee cup. So we're going anti-clockwise around the coffee cup, and then we switch to going clockwise. So really small and controlled movements, and then we're going bigger around a plate. So let's go anti-clockwise, and then we switch and go clockwise. And let's do a few more, and then we're going to go really big circles, as big as you can. Maybe bringing the arm down for more stability and making sure that you're not tipping backwards and forwards too much. So play around with where that hand goes that can help support you doing this movement. So really nice big circles. The floor isn't coming towards the mat, it's staying up at all times throughout this movement. So let's keep going. Doing a few more, really pushing into the leg, and then release. Inhale, and on the exhalation, we're going to come up again, and we're going to hold straight, and we're pulsing up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the leg back down. Inhale. Make sure that you're still strong in the core. And we're going to inhale to prepare, and exhale. You're shooting the leg up, it's being held straight, and the lower leg is going to tap to meet the top leg. So you're going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. Bring yourself up, and we're going to spin onto the opposite side. So coming up nice and slowly, moving onto the other side. Your right arm's coming out in front of you, your head's going to rest on your top of your arm, finding your balance, making sure that your glutes are nice and strong, and then we're lifting up the foot and bringing it back down. So it's coming up, dorsiflex the foot, and back down to tap the opposite foot on the mat. So concentrate on the breathing, concentrate on really trying to work those hip muscles to shoot the leg up. And this is going to really strengthen all of the glutes, all of your hamstrings, your quads, and then let's hold up and we're going to make them circles. So we're going round a coffee cup, and then we're going to go the opposite direction, keeping the circles really small. Making them slightly bigger, so imagine that you're going around the edge of a plate, going in one direction, and then we're switching to the opposite direction. Then we're going to make those movements much bigger. So we're going around a hula hoop. So this is really difficult for your balance, and sometimes you rock back and forwards. You might need to use your hip muscles a bit more to help with that rotation. But just try not to fall back or fall forward, and really try and squeeze all of the core muscles to try and keep that leg elevated. Come back down, and then we're going back up and you're pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back down, release, relax, and then find a nice strong position. One leg's coming up and the other one is tapping that foot. So you're doing 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release both feet down. Turning onto your front. Your hands are going to come so that they're parallel to your ears, out towards the mat. Your forehead's coming onto the mat. You inhale. On the exhale, peel the head off the mat slightly to stretch the mid-back muscles. So we're preparing for our swimming and our paddling exercise. So then the arms are coming out in front of you. And we're going to lift up the top of the body at the same time. So the arms are coming up and then you're dropping back down. So come up with the arms and then we're swinging back down. And then we're coming into our dart exercise. So inhale to prepare. On the exhalation, you're squeezing the mid-body, squeezing the glutes, and you're pulling the legs and the hands and the upper body off the mat. So only the hips should remain on the mat. So you want to imagine that you're catching something that's coming into your arms above the glutes. So you're really pulling the shoulders back, you're squeezing the trapezius, you're tightening and shortening the rhomboid muscles in the mid-back, and you're opening up the chest as you come up. So the feet should be together, using the glutes and the hamstrings to pull your feet up. Then we're going to bring the arms back down to the front of you, and we're coming up and we're paddling the legs and the arms up and down. Really trying to squeeze the glutes as you come up. So inhale, exhale to bring the arms back up, and let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're doing 3 more sets. Inhale, and then exhale, bring the arms in front of you and we're paddling up and down. So really try and kick with the legs and move the arms at the same time, looking towards the mid-center of your mat. Come back down, release, and we're going again. So inhale, and then on the exhalation, you're coming back up, nice and strong, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings, paddle up and down. Let's keep going, push through, and then release and relax. This time we're going to come up and do the final set of this exercise. So we're inhaling, on the exhalation, come up and we're paddling up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. Hands come parallel to the ears. Inhale. On the exhalation, straighten up the arms. Push the elbows so that they're facing forward and the arms straighten, and then come back down. So you're really trying to bend and open up the chest and give yourself a stretch in the spine. Come back down. Inhale, and then exhale to come up. Looking forward, identifying where you feel any pain in the body, where you feel any stress and any tension, and trying to breathe into that area. So we've got 2 more of these movements. Trying to keep your hips imprinted on the mat so the curvature is happening in the spine. So we're trying to loosen up and get the blood flowing around the upper body. Come back down. Relax the forehead on the mat. Maybe give yourself a rock back and forth. And then we're going to bring ourselves up onto all fours. And then we're going to look over to the right side, behind us. Come back to neutral and look over to the left side. So moving the hips, feeling that curvature as we look towards the back. Find that nice strong all fours position. Feet are untucked. Imagine that you've got something balancing on your mid-back. You're nice and strong in the arms. You're pushing through the shoulders. We're lifting up the left leg, lifting up the right, and we're going into a plank. Then we're going to come down onto our elbows, hold for a second, and then come up onto our hands. Bring the knees in, relax, and we're going to go again. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to shoot out the right leg. Left leg comes out, strong plank position, down onto the elbows, hold for a second, and then come back onto the hands. Bring the knees in and relax. We're going to do this a few more times. So inhale, exhale, left leg comes out, right leg, find that plank, squeeze the glutes, come down onto your elbows, hold for a second, and then come back onto our hands. Bring the knees in and relax. We're going again. So really try and focus on those core muscles that you're really strengthening. Come down onto the elbows, hold, and then back up onto the hands. This is amazing for all the shoulder muscles and if you've got any knots in the upper back. And then we're going again, coming down onto the elbows, hold the position, and then back onto the hands, bring the knees in. Well done, we're doing a great job. So this time we're coming back into the high plank. Do not drop down. We're going to hold this plank position for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees in. Inhale. On the exhale, we're doing a cat stretch. So look towards the navel, curve the spine, pull the spine up towards the ceiling, curl the tailbone in. We're dropping down with the arms and we're coming up and then back to neutral. Inhale. Exhale, curve the spine, look towards the navel, shoot the hips forward, duck down, bend the elbows, reach the head towards the mat and then curl forward. Back to neutral, curving the spine, dipping down, bend the elbows, snake forward, and then come back to neutral. And we're going to prepare for the full Superman movements. So make sure that you feel comfortable in this position. If you need to put a towel under your knees, do so now. We're shooting out the left arm and the right leg, then we're coming back and doing the opposite side. So you're kicking out and elevating the arm, making sure that the head is not moving. So you're not looking forward as you come up. The gaze is still down, so you've got that nice lengthening in the top of the neck. And let's keep going from one side to another. Distributing the weight, so when you come back onto that knee, the weight shifts slightly over to that side, but you're not tipping too far over. We're going to bend the knee and the arm so the elbow and the knee touch. And we're staying on one side, crunching the body, curving the spine. Really try and bring the elbow towards that knee. Sticking with one side. And let's keep going. We've got 2 more on this side and then we're going to swap. So release the knee back down, release the hand. Keep nice and strong in that position. Then the right leg comes out, the left arm, and we're crunching, squeezing the core, trying to get the elbow to the knee, looking towards the knee as it comes around, squeezing and then kicking back up. So the knee and the hand are not touching the mat. This movement is going to be great for your posture, for realigning your spine and for your balance. So keep going and then we're going to relax. Finding that all fours position, open up the knees and come down into child's pose. Feet are together, hands right in front of you, your forehead's on the mat. You're coming up onto your fingertips and we're going to move over to the right side. So the fingers come onto the right, so you stretch deeper into your back muscles and then coming over to the left and doing the same thing. Coming back to the middle, back onto all fours, finding that alignment, and then we're kicking out the right leg and the left arm and we're going to pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it up and we're twisting over to the opposite side. So lengthening the whole spine. Imagine someone's pulling you from the wrist and from the ankle and then come back to neutral. Coming back up with the opposite side and let's pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Hold it still. Twist over to the opposite side. Hold for a breath. And then you're going to come back to the center and relax the knee, relax the arm. So then slowly bring yourself round. We're going to come so that we're sat on our sit bones. One leg is in front of us and the other one is to the side. So you're making this nice square around the body. We're going to reach over to the right side, stretch over, and then come back to the left. So we're going from one side to another, trying to get the elbow to come onto the mat, and then we're going over to the opposite side, recognizing where it feels tight in the hips and in the legs. Then we're going to come so that our legs are straight. Your palm is flat on the floor. Your fingers are nice and spread, and we're coming into a mermaid. So inhaling, on the exhale, we'll lift up our whole body. The hips push towards the ceiling. Straighten that top arm, keeping the glare forward, and then come up. So we're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down, spin yourself around, and we're going to go onto the opposite side. So again, making that nice box with your legs. One leg's out in front of you, one's by the side. Inhale to prepare. On the exhalation, we're leaning over to one side, the opposite arm's coming all the way over. Try and straighten that arm as much as you can when you come towards the mat. Stretching the obliques and the hips, and coming back and going to the opposite side. So we're swinging the body all the way around. It's quite a quick, fast movement. So then coming into our full mermaid. So again, nice and strong in the arm. The fingers are nice and wide, and you're coming up, and then you're going to come back down. So inhale, on the exhalation, come up. Use the arm to swing yourself and pull yourself towards the ceiling and thrust the hips forward. So tightening the core as you go up, and the glutes. Straightening both legs, and then coming back down. Let's go up again, and we're just going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hips back to the mat, release the arms, and we're going to spin around so that we're sat on our sit bones, and then we come down so that we're laying flat on the mat, and we're going to do a full body stretch. The arms come out above your head, and imagine someone is pulling you the wrists and from the ankles. So we're going to do our rotator cuff shoulder exercise. So the hands are going to come hit the mat behind you and then come towards your hips. So making sure that when the arms come up above the head, the ribs aren't flaring forward. So the shoulders and the scapula should be pushed into the mat, which is going to allow you to rotate from the rotator cuff more easily. So you might feel that it's quite tight in your shoulders. Making sure that you're still pushing the lower back into the mat and have that pelvic floor engagement. Your hands are going to come directly above you, and you're going to stretch out one arm after the other. So you're reaching forward, lengthening the scapula, lengthening your shoulder muscles, and going one up, coming back down, and then the opposite arm. So this is really good if you have got tight shoulders and you've got a tight trapezius. So we're loosening all of those muscles. You're coming up and then coming back down. Release the arms, and we're going to do some leg raises. So if you like, you can use your hands under your sit bones to elevate the hips slightly. So the legs are coming up, we're dorsiflexing the feet, and then we're shooting them back down again. They're touching the mat. And then we're going to inhale. On the exhale, we're shooting them up. Inhale when they get to the top, dorsiflex the feet, and exhale, bringing them back down again. We're going to do this another 4 times. I really want you to try and focus on the breathing pattern, because this is going to allow you to really push the legs up. So we're inhaling to prepare. On the exhalation is when we're going to raise the legs. So as we exhale, we squeeze the core. And this really allows us to grab the legs and shoot them forward. So we're using all of our hip flexor muscles, we're using our abdominals, we're using the quads, the hamstrings to bring them back down with control. Make sure that the head doesn't come off the mat, so you're not actually peeling the head off. Your shoulders and your head are nice and relaxed. The next time the legs come up, I want you to hold one leg as the other one goes down towards the mat. And then we're going to swap and you're going to alternate between legs, making sure that both are straight. So bringing the leg up, using the hands to bring it slightly further towards the body and stretch your hamstrings. Bring both legs up together. We're going to open up the knees and I want you to keep the heels together. So the heels are touching, the feet are split apart. We're bending the knees in towards the chest and then shooting them out into a diagonal. So as you come in, the knees should bend and go out to the sides. And as you point forward, they're going to straighten and come together. So the knees are opening and closing as we do this movement. Let's do one more and then we're going to go into a scissor kick. So last one, straightening the legs into a diagonal and coming back into the body. Now we're going to shoot them out, straighten the legs fully, point the toes, and we're going to do our scissor kick. So the legs are going up and down, coming to about a foot above the mat. Try and keep them nice and high. Try and keep the legs straight. And we're going to do 2 more sets. So squeeze the knees in, roll out the feet, circle the ankles, inhale, and then on the exhalation, we're going to shoot the legs back again, and we're doing the scissors. Make sure the lower back is imprinted into the mat, and let's count for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs in, roll out the feet, circle the ankles, and then we're going back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees back in, squeeze them tight, give your back a massage as you pull them forward. Roll out the ankles again, and then we're going to put our feet onto the mat. So make sure that they're quite close to your sit bones, they're not too far down the mat. Your hands are going to come so that they're on the top of your thighs. We're going to inhale. On the exhalation, you're sliding your hands up to reach your knees as we do an ab curl. So we're coming forward on the exhalation and then coming back down. So inhale and exhale to peel the body up. So using the hands to propel the body forward and create that mobility in the upper back. So inhale and exhale to peel up. Making sure that the movement is coming from the abdominals, you're really crunching forward. And let's do one more. Inhale, exhale to come up, and then slide the body back down. We're now going to interlock the fingers. They're going to come behind your head. So we're opening up the chest. You're inhaling, and on the exhalation, we're twisting so that the elbow comes towards the knee as the opposite leg shoots out. So we're doing an oblique twist, and I want you to look towards your armpit as you twist and try and really pull yourself forward. Don't get lazy in the abdominals. Don't let yourself drop. Your shoulders should be peeled off the mat. And then we're going to come down, have a little breather, and we're going back into it again. So let's go. So we're switching from one side to another, pulling the knee in, using all the core muscles as you stretch over to that side and really push into the movement. And then we're going to relax. Release the arms, bring them down so that they're by the hips, and your palms are going to be flat on the mat. We're inhaling. On the exhalation, you peel the body up and we're doing some ankle taps. So you're rocking from one side to another, trying as hard as you can to touch the fingertips towards the ankle. And we're going for sets of 10. So inhale. On the exhalation, come up and let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. Inhale. And let's go up again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Come back down. Inhale, exhale, coming up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. And we're going straight into the bridge. So I want you to peel off the pelvis super slowly, find that nice bridge position, that diagonal from your shoulders, and we're pulsing up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down, and we're going straight into it. Let's go again for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. Inhale, we're going back up into that pulse. And really make sure you're thrusting forward, squeezing the glutes. And we've got 3, 2, 1, come back down. Inhale, exhale to come back up. And going straight back into it. Thrusting forward, squeeze the hamstring, squeeze the quads. And let's do 2 more pulses, and then you're going to stay up. So keeping the hips nice and high. To bend the right knee and straighten the leg. So point your toe towards the ceiling and hold. Take a big inhale through the nose and exhale, bring the leg back down. Keep the hips high. Let's do the same with the right leg. So straighten up that leg, and I want you to thrust the hips forward so that they're going higher and you're not dropping down towards the mat. Bring the leg back down. Relax the hips on the mat. Hug your knees in tight towards you. And then we're going back into the bridge. We're doing the same movement 2 more times. So inhale, on the exhalation, the right leg comes up, the foot points towards the ceiling, thrust our hips slightly higher, hold for a second, and then bending the leg to come back down, keeping the hips nice and high. Let's go again on the left side. So pointing that toe, thrust the hips, recognize which side is more difficult. And if you're shaking, that's fine. And we're going to come back down. Have a little rest. And we're going back up again. So the hips are coming up. Inhale to prepare. On the exhalation, straighten the right leg, point the toe. Keep the hips nice and high. Hold for a second. And then come back down, and we're swapping legs. Keep the hips high. So left leg's coming up. For 2 deep breaths. Keep that structure nice and strong, and then coming back down. Hips going to hit the mat. Hug your knees in towards you. Bring the face towards the knees so you give yourself a nice spine stretch. So then we're going to stretch out the legs. The arms are coming out in front of you, and we're going to go into our roll up. So you're going to inhale, the arms come up, and then exhale, shoot the body forward, hinge from the hips, and reach towards the feet. So you've got this nice C shape in the spine. And then peel all the way back down with control. The arms come to rest on the floor above your head. Pull the body, give yourself a nice full body stretch. And then we're going again. So inhale, the arms come up. And then exhale, squeeze and roll the body all the way over. Now this isn't you trying to get towards your knees. So you're not trying to hold the feet. You're trying to stretch the spine. And then come back down with control. Again, stretch the body. Inhale to prepare. Arms come up. Exhale, shoot forward. Hinge from the hips. Reach towards the feet, but don't reach down and touch the feet. Look towards the navel. And then come back down with control. And let's do our final roll up. So this time, I want you to really try and engage with all the abdominal muscles as you come up. And this time we're going to go into a full stretch. So I want you to try and touch your toes, bend the elbows, pull your feet forward if you can, stretch the hamstrings, look towards the navel, and stretch out the back. Now I want you to go back down, so we're laid flat on the mat with the shoulders relaxed. And we're going to do a glute stretch. So I want you to hook over the left leg over the right knee and pull that leg in towards you to stretch out your adductors and stretch out the hip flexors. So try and keep the shoulders relaxed, try and keep the head relaxed, don't peel forward. And then we're going to swap onto the opposite side, hooking that ankle over the left knee and using the hands to support and pull the knee forward if you can. And just noticing which side feels tight. If you're tight in the hamstrings or the glutes, or maybe your hip flexors feel tight, just recognizing and becoming more aware of how our body feels. Then we're going to stretch out the hamstrings. So coming up with the right leg, and we're doing the same thing that we did last session, where we're bending the knee in towards you, then we're using the arms to pull the knee forward and then stretch the soleus. So you're going to dorsiflex the foot towards you, giving yourself a deeper stretch in the hamstrings, and then swapping to the opposite side. Same thing again, trying to push out the knee to stretch all of the hamstring muscles on the left side, making sure that you're using the hands to assist with the stretch. And then let's do 2 more, pushing out the leg, and last one, and then we're going to release the leg back down, hugging the knees, straighten up the legs, and then we're just going to roll back. So I want your hands to use as support, and your legs are going to roll back and above your head, and then very, very slowly come back down onto the mat. Bring yourself up. We're going to spin around, and we're coming into our butterfly stretch. So the soles of the feet are together, opening up the knees, and we're going to do our spine stretch. So I want you to hold onto the feet. We're going to inhale through the nose. On the exhalation, we're curving the cervical spine. So the top of the neck and the top of the back. And then we're going to go into a thoracic stretch, so slightly further towards your mid-back. And then we're going to go even further down into a lumbar stretch. So you're going inch by inch, stretching out the whole spine. Then we're going to walk the hands forwards and stretch out the trapezius muscle. Look towards the navel for a full spine stretch. And let's do a big inhalation. And on the exhalation, I want you to come up. We're going to open up the legs, nice and wide. If you can, straighten out the knees. If you can't, leave them bent. Dorsiflex the feet so the toes are pointing in towards you. And we're going to walk out the hands in front of you. So make sure that you're nice and comfortable on your sit bones. And then we're going to do the same thing again, looking towards the navel, stretching out the hamstrings. Hold for a second. Have a breather here. Feel where there's any tension in the upper body. And then we're going to peel ourselves and walk the hands over to the right side. And again, looking towards the navel, trying to put your hands on the mat, trying to keep that leg nice and straight. And then let's go over to the opposite side. So this might be quite difficult if you struggle with flexibility, so don't worry if you can't even touch the mat, as long as you're feeling the stretch in your hamstrings and in the spine. Coming back to neutral, bending the legs. So coming so that you're sat upright, and we're going to stretch out the arms above you. And then we're going to go down to the right side, trying to get the elbow to reach the mat. Keeping the hips and both sit bones on the mat. Have a little breather here, and then come all the way up and over to the opposite side. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then we're going to swing round. So the hands are going to touch the mat, they're going to swing out in front of you, and then come round to the opposite side. Hold the stretch, and then swing out in front of you and come round to the opposite side. So at this point, you might feel any clicking, crunching in the shoulders or in the back. Now we're going to bring our arms out to a nice V shape. You're going to hold, And then we're going to tap the mat down and shoot the arms back up. Trying to keep tight in the core, trying to keep the head and chin parallel to the mat as you come up with this movement. So this is going to stretch out the mid-back muscles and help build that strength in the arms. So then we're going to come up and we're going to go into our bicep and tricep stretch. So grabbing the elbow, the hands behind your head, making sure the chest doesn't flare up too much, dropping back down, and let's come over to the opposite side. So this is really stretching the pectorals, your deltoids, opening up the chest. Then we're going to swing the arm round and out in front of you. So again, just stretching the shoulder muscles, looking forward, and feeling proud that you've just done an hour session. And twisting round, looking towards that shoulder as we come to the end of the practice. And let's swap. We're going to go over to the opposite side, stretch out the opposite arm, making sure that you're still squeezing the core, pulling the body up straight. And let's take an inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to twist the body round. Hands are going to come towards the knee, looking towards that shoulder, feeling where there's any tension in the mid-body. Come back to neutral. Inhale, the shoulders are going to come up, and exhale back down. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, and exhale back down. Let's go again. Inhale, you're coming up, back down. Your hands are coming into prayer on your sternum, and we're doing our thoracic twist. This time when you twist, I want you to pull slightly and try with the out breath to twist just slightly further. So we're pushing ourselves further into the oblique stretch. Release the hands, close the eyes, and we're going to concentrate on our thoracic breathing. On the inhalation, I want you to fill up the lungs as much as you can. So imagine the air flooding through your body. And then on the exhalation, we're pushing everything out, squeezing the hands together, squeezing the ribs together. And then we're going again with the inhalation. So expanding the chest, feel the oxygen energizing the body. And then a big exhalation as the air leaves your body and all the tension and stress. Now we're just going to close our eyes, and I want you to focus on relaxing all of the muscles. So making sure the shoulders are away from the ears, the trapezius, the upper back is nice and relaxed. The whole body feels heavy. The knees are dropping down towards the mat. The hips are weighted on the floor. And just try and imagine the whole body sinking down. Keeping the eyes shut, imagine that the eyelids are super heavy, the jaws relaxed, the tongue's relaxed in the mouth. And we're just trying to forget about any stresses or worries, anything you have to do, and just concentrate on the muscles. Concentrate on the energy flowing throughout your body. Slowly, I want you to send the head over to one side to stretch the neck, and then over to the other side. Slowly opening the eyes, congratulating yourself for another week, for getting stronger and feeling fitter. And I will see you again next week.